Okay, so now we're gonna try and put all this stuff together. So if we're looking at the back gear, let's say this is the one we made, this gear, and this is the other gear up here, and this is the chain. We're gonna try and make next sort of a guide pattern that goes along here, just have something to guide the constraints and lay all the chain links on. So let's make a new assembly in whatever folder, chain roller gear Spur. Okay, not gonna add anything for now. Just do a sketch. Whatever. We'll do that one, and then we'll do that guide that I was just talking about. So our diameter where the chain is the path that's gonna follow along is for 1.9 on the gear that we made. And let's make just a guideline, let's say 8 up here, and then we'll put another circle up here to represent the front gear. Let's say it's 3. I'm going to delete this and then add lines attaching these two from the edge to the edge. Same thing down here. Okay. And then trim away the insides. Okay, hopefully that's saved. Let's bring in one of those chain components. So we'll add the link inner 2, which is actually the link outer, I guess, for this case. We're going to want the reference set to be entire part and not model, so make sure you change that. That should bring that in. Looks like our guide features didn't get saved, maybe. Let's check on that real quick here. Alright, so let's throw those in again. Maybe yours will still be there. I thought we did this for both. Okay, so that's just center line here to here. Okay. Reference and a point at the center. Okay. And we'll do that down here. To the center. And point at the center. Alright, and save this time. Alright, now hopefully that works. We'll go back into our chain roller gear. Okay, there it is, good. So that's what we wanted to see. Alright, so now we'll do some constraints with this. We'll do assembly constraint, we'll do a touch, and we'll just pick the little point in there, and then we'll pick our, hang on a sec. Oh, right, one thing first with this outer guide is that we're going to want this to be, these curves to be joined, so we'll just, where is that curve, more join curves up here, and then it's already picked them for us, so it's selected the 4 on the outside, and we'll just join those, so that'll give us a join curve instead of individual little lines. So we'll hide that sketch and just leave the join curve available to constrain to. So I'll come back here to our constraints, and then we'll do a touch from this point to this line, and same thing back here. Point to line. That'll stick that on there. Okay, so now this isn't the right direction that we want. We want this to be rotated 90, I guess, so it can travel along this path. So we're just going to throw in a datum plane, and we'll just make that an X, XC, YZ, or whatever is sort of in the same plane as your curve. So this is all parallel to this. 0 inches is fine. That'll be a good reference for our assembly constraint of parallel. We'll select the datum plane and then one of these faces here. So that'll turn that around and make that parallel. So now we should be able to move this, right click, move, and by dragging it, it should stick to that curve that we made there. So it kind of just works itself around there. Like that. Good. Okay, so that's a good start. We will save that and then add a new part. We'll add the real outer. Let's check in the folder. Or real inner, I guess. Make sure it's entire part. And then OK. Alright, we will do, I guess we can start with the parallel. And we will throw in a touch. Point to line and point to line. And then we'll just do a concentric outer edge to inner edge here. Okay, looks fine, and then we will add in the pin into. Okay. Alright, I guess we can just do concentric with this one. And we'll reverse that. Alright, that looks fine. Let's make let's make a little change to the pin. So we'll just add a edge blend to here, and what is that, 1/32? No, 1/64. Yeah. And down here. Yeah, that should make it look a little nicer. Go back to our chain roller gear. Okay, so now we see that in there. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll add in another, add in another pin. Okay. We'll do concentric to here, and it pops it in there for us. Alright, so now we're just going to pattern this stuff out to kind of make it follow along this line. So we'll just do pattern component. We will select our components, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll do linear. Let's do 6 or something. So these are 1/2 inch apart each. So 1 inch is fine. So this is kind of the base unit. It's 1 inch long from here to here, the repeating unit, so that should work. We'll pick the vector. We will not pick our line. We'll turn the sketch back on. Let's see if that lets us do this. Pattern component. Okay, pick our parts. Linear, vector. Okay. So we've picked our vector. We'll flip it around. And Oh, looks like I constrained that pin wrong before. Alright. We'll fix that. Just redefine. And I'll just delete that. And add a new constraint. Okay. Just gonna do these inside edges together. There we go. Alright, that looks better. Alright, back to pattern component again. Now, parts. Linear vectors here. Reverse direction. Let's do more. Yeah, whatever. 4 should be fine. We're not going to do this whole thing, but that's good. Just enough to see what's going on. Alright. That's looking good. Now let's continue the other way, which is a little trickier. So, we have an outer. We'll do an inner next. We do have to get it started manually a little bit, but then we can make it do it automatically once we get going here. Alright, so parallel, face to datum, and concentric, outer to inner. Oh, actually, let's do the other ones first. Okay. So we'll just do the touches first. I think that'll be easier. Touch to touch. And touch to touch. And okay, just moving it so I can see that edge to attach to this constraint, but just a concentric here to here. Okay, now I'll need an outer. Okay, parallel, parallel, parallel. Yeah. Touch. Center to center. Okay. Alright, and concentric. What is this? An outer. The first one may not be far enough along the curve. Let's just do one more inner. Okay, parallel. Let's see if we move it first, if it will stay over here out of the way. Alright, touch. Touch. Yeah, sort of. And concentric. Outer to inner. Alright. Alright, let's put our pins in there. this. Pin just a couple concentrics in here. Just add all these in. Oops. Click that one wrong. Alright. Okay. Alright, so now we've got enough of a pattern to make sure it's along a curve. I was a little concerned that the straight line might begin around here or something, so that might make this, the angle of this, a little bit off what we need to pattern. So since this one's definitely on the rounded edge, we should be able to pattern these two around and keep them going correctly. So we will pattern component. Alright, this time circular. We'll do these guys. I'll do a vector around to that one, the point, center point here. And good. Okay, so let's get these out of the way here. Yeah, that's in the way too. That looks pretty close, actually. Alright, let's just double check to make sure that the angle is right. So what we can do is measure it by objects. We'll do by 3 points, specify points. So we'll pick the center point. We'll pick our first point. Actually, what we need is that center point in there. That otherwise we're going to get kind of a slightly different angle if this is not on the center. So we'll just that was what I wanted. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. Right. What am I doing here? This is a component. Great, now my pins are gone. Alright. Well, we'll just measure it. I think it's going to be almost 60. And if it is, we'll just assume it's 60. Okay. But at least for future reference, you can use this measure tool right when you're doing stuff to make it really easy to just figure out what you need right away. So just do 3 objects. Here. Okay, so that's almost 60. Like I was saying before, this is a little twisted and it's not centered, so we'll just hope that 60 is right. It should be. Oops. And that one, let me do it. You can just do a formula and just type in 60 here. Okay, that should be fine. Let's do 3 just in case. Okay, that looks fine. This last one's off a little bit, but we can fix that. Okay, should be good. Alright, let's see if this will adjust or if we need to delete it. So just add a assembly constraint, we'll just touch this point back to this line down here. Nope. Alright. It's gonna want to stay in that pattern feature kind of shape, so we'll just delete this one. Huh. Really? Okay, it's not wanting to let me delete this one. I thought you could. So we'll just unpack these guys and just suppress this last link always, and hope that fixes our issue. Okay, let's throw in a few more links here. So inner, real inner. Alright, let's do the touch first. Actually, alright, lost it. Real inner. Okay, parallel. Or not. Alright, and then, oops, just one more outer here. Alright, parallel. Okay. Okay, that last concentric constraint didn't work last time, but it did this time for some reason, so I must have clicked on something wrong. Alright, whatever. Okay, and a pin. Concentric. Okay, we have red things that are angry at us, but we will ignore them. Okay, pattern components. And let's do these guys. And linear. Let's see if it lets us pick this. Yes. Flip the direction. Force fine, 1 inch is good. Alright, almost there. Now just add that spur gear that we made. Okay, we'll do a parallel again. And I'm just going to try and move this into place. And we'll try and do a constraint. Just a touch of this face to this one. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, computer's having a little bit of issues with this, but yeah, anyway. Alright, so there's our gear. Let's get rid of some of this nastiness going on. So we'll just remove the sketches, we'll remove the constraints. That'll leave us with a nicer little image there. Okay, so that should be it. Okay, so for the homework, just make this and then do a rendering of it. Let's do Advanced Studio and did it. We'll just pick some materials. So that's down here in the System Studio materials. We'll pick some metal. Yeah, you can pick whatever you want for these. Just make it look nice. And yeah, just take a screenshot of this and submit it Canvas by PDF. Okay, that should be it. Just as an additional part, I guess, just to make it look a little better, why don't we go ahead and actually render this for real. So just select Ray Trace Studio. You can set up your scene and edit some of the rendering settings, and then actually render the image with this button here. Let that run for a while. Yeah, maybe at least 100 iterations, let it go for a few minutes. Select some nice materials, get something to look nice, and that will be it. Okie doke.